Hey, so let's practice. I don't know why I decided to complicate the process, but today we're painting two girls, which is gonna take twice as long as usual. But I really like this reference picture. We're not creating characters today, we just study as we did last time with default brushes in previous video. Not gonna use default brushes today though, it's my usual custom set. Usually, if it's more than one character, I finish one character first, and then I move to the next one. But to make the process clear today, let's paint them together, step by step, both girls. I speeded up the process a little for you, because like I said, it's two characters. The whole process took me like 3 hours or even a little more, and probably the final video is gonna be long enough too, but 3 hours is kinda too much, right? After I fill the shape with one main color, it's usually skin color or other prevalent color sometimes. If a character wears black clothes, for example, like black shirt and black pants, and it's black hair probably, this main color I use would be black too. This time it's skin color, I add shadows with multiply layer first, and only then, after all shadows are here, I also add all the main colors at the layer below shadows, since it's multiply layer. For shadows at multiply layer, I use the same main color I picked for a whole shape. These shadows can be colored differently later, with a normal layer above all the layers, using different colors and manually coloring needed areas. Or we can also select shadow areas with lasso, feathering area to make future color gradients smoother, and change the colors of selected area with color adjustments, such as curves or color balance, etc. All the colors today are bright, saturated, because it's bright sunlight in the reference picture we use, and there's this rule in the color theory: more light means higher chroma. The most illuminated areas are the most saturated. Chroma is saturation, purity, intensity of a color, and that's why we rarely use pure white for highlights. We're probably gonna talk about it in detail someday, but to keep it short, chroma is a purity of a color. It's freedom from white, gray, or black. This way, the most pure colors has the higher chroma. It's colors which are almost free of white, gray, or black. And there's no chroma in white, gray, or black because there's no color, no hue in it. For the most illuminated areas, it would be perfect to add any, even smallest amount of a color into white, because visually this color is still gonna look like pure white, but it's not, and it's gonna look much more natural as a highlight. The most illuminated areas are also quite light, so we have to somehow balance between very light but also saturated colors, colors with high chroma. Speaking of multiply layer, I'm changing the color of a whole shadow layer. It's way too yellow. I want it to be more bluish and a little less intense. This blue shadow color creates nice colors on top of skin color, white cloths and even pink swimsuits. It's a perfect fit here. Some shadows, almost all of them today, I keep sharp and clean. There's also some smooth transitions from shadow to light. Not many, but still. I use my custom round smooth brush to blend the transition in such areas. I'm trying not to overly focus on specific areas, shadows and colors, details, but to keep it simple, simplify shapes, gradients, color variations, to focus more on the picture as a whole. That's why I use lasso this often as a tool instead of brushes. It's easy to create needed shapes and lines with it, but not too accurate, even messy a little. And if I use a brush, I try not to blend it, not to blend the texture it leaves, the hatching, even if it looks terrible, really, my inner perfectionist goes mad. But sometimes I just gotta trust the process and keep going, and most of the time it guides me to the result I wanna see as a final result. Not too accurate and quite stylized. And it's an important remark here, most of the time it guides me to the result I wanna see. Most of the times. Sometimes it's just not. It's not working, sometimes it takes a couple attempts to finish a piece. And sometimes I can't finish a piece. I just don't like it and it's just not working. I know there's these short videos and just videos like this one I'm filming today. A lot of these kind of videos nowadays where an artist paints something, making the whole process to look so easy and fast. But the reality is sometimes it's a complete mess and it's totally normal. For example, this session today, you see it as a quick session. I guess the video is gonna be not longer than 20 or 30 minutes. But it took me 3 hours and it's not just one session. I took 2 breaks. One of them was a couple of hours, second one is a whole night. And I continued filming and painting the next morning after I walked my dog and had a breakfast. Don't trust social media, even artists, which are, in my opinion, one of the kindest and honest kind of creators here. Still, we polish our content to make it watchable. I like to be slow, focused, try different kind of stylization. This time I think I took 1 more hour of these 3 to just try things with the girl with dark hair. I changed the darkness of the shadows, I undid it, did it again, changed the colors of shadows, worked with facial feature. I think I added white color to her eyes a couple of times and then also undid it. And of course, I'm gonna cut it off this video, because that's just not informative and would make the video pointlessly long. And all this creates this effect of a quick and nice painting process. But painting process is creating process. It's more than normal to try something and then undo it because it doesn't fit here, then try something else and probably keep it. It all takes time, and this camera here kinda breaks this intuitive process. That's why I usually publish screen recordings, because it only takes to press this button and start recording. But actually it was pressuring to me too at the beginning. With this kind of videos, you need to place a camera, find a nice angle, and all the devices. Even Apple Pencil has the battery. It needs to be charged sometimes, which can break the angle, and you're trying to make it all look nice, to make the process to be clean. And I want to remind you that the process is not always clean. Remember this thing about ugly stage of the painting process? I remember there was a lot of short videos of artists showing the ugly stage of their painting process, when it looks like a complete mess at some stage. And of course, you try to avoid it for a camera, to make the whole process to be aesthetically pleasing, not just final art piece. And it's all like subconsciously pressuring. Even for my patrons, there is no draw with me kind of videos as a constant kind of content. It's just bonus content I sometimes publish when I feel like it. Because, you know, I like to paint in my bed at night, wrapped into my blanket, wrapping the canvas around chaotically, God knows what for. Focus and just be slow and long stare at the canvas sometimes, trying to understand what's the next thing I'm doing here. And that's why I started to film this first YouTube video as a draw with me video after a year of practicing with digital art. Because I'm more confident with the process now, enough to place a camera and film it. When at first months my process was a complete mess, I was trying to get into digital art techniques, find a style, and if I placed a camera back then, and I did once or twice trying to film this sort of content, I was just freezing, literally. It was kinda overwhelming, because my process is a complete mess even without any camera here. And it's just impossible to make it look nice. I mean, how can you make it look nice if the process of just one character a study takes you like 7 hours of going in circles? So now I feel more comfortable. I guess I'll get used to this camera and it won't even bother me at some point. Plus, I'm making these videos because I really enjoy sharing it with you, talking and stuff. I like this social media space and community of artists we have here. It's nice to know there's a lot of people with same interests, and it's people from different parts of the world, but with the same idea, same profession or hobby. It's different for each of us, but it's just a nice thing to have in common and to be able to talk to you guys. You can come here and find a lot of like-minded people, learn something from them, share something for them to learn, etc. Anyway, back to the process. It's a whole science actually, a skill we need to develop as artists, to see real colors, because depending on other colors around, depending on color combinations, one exactly the same color is gonna look completely different. It's shocking sometimes how different can look one same color. Seriously, that's why the color theory is so important to know. There's a lot of rules which can help to recognize these colors, and it's also practice, of course. But just know that most of the time, color you see is not gonna be the color you expect it to be. When we pick a color, we might wanna consider a lot other things than just this pure color of an object we paint. Like their clothes, it's clearly white pants and white half transparent top on the girl with copper hair, but clear weather, clear sky, bright sunlight, the texture of their clothes, how reflective it is, how transparent it is, because skin color and color of the swimsuit is also important in case with this white top, because it's half transparent. If this cloth is dry, or probably top can be wet because of wet swimsuit. All these aspects plays a part in how we're gonna choose the final colors and how we add shadows, lights, reflexes, etc.
Have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. If you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging, painful, it's just a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself.
And well guys, I guess we're finished here. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.